Hi everybody, Nick here. And today I got something a little bit different for you. So I got a couple of knives that I'm working on to review. I'm carrying them, seeing in some other gear. But I'm not quite ready to go there yet. So this morning I want to do something a little different. Oh, and by the way, one of them is an absolute gem. Here's a little sneak preview on the side of the screen. This right here, total gem. We'll get there. If you can figure it out already, all the best to you. So today I'd like to talk a little bit about not the present, but the future. Knives that I've got, and everyday gear pieces too, that I've got in mind, but are not quite with me yet. I haven't been able to find one used. They're on my radar. Maybe they're not available. Maybe I'll never end up owning one. But I'd like to talk about what I'm looking at in the future. This is your Benchmade Valet. I'm pretty curious about this. A friend of mine's got one. He loves it. Little 3-inch blade here. Axis lock. It's like a 940, but in 3 inches and a little bit less tactical, kind of a gentleman's 940. And so I'm really curious about this guy, and the steel is M390. So if I can get one at a good price, and by the way, Benchmade, your price is not a good price, I'm going to do that, and so that'll be good. This is your ZT0562CF. It's a Hinderer design, and I'm told that ZT makes really good Hinderer designs. And I've been really impressed with ZT lately. Between the 0350, which is pretty nice, the 0450, which is great, and that Emerson that I reviewed a little while back, the, oh God, what is that, 0630, something like that. The fit and finish is great, so I'd like to try a little bit more of their stuff, and this is on my radar. This is your Delica, except it's your Delica and HAP 40 steel. I love the Delica so damn much. It's my favorite everyday carry knife. For most people, maybe I like the Norseman a little more, but whatever. But it's in VG10 steel, which isn't super impressive. HAP 40 steel is a new steel that Spyderco's using, and it's supposed to be incredible. And so I'd really like to check that out, just because it's a new steel and a new blade. Unfortunately, the scale color is absolutely butt ugly, but that's why God made aftermarket scales. This is your Chris Reeve and Cosi. Chris Reeve knives has been impressing me lately. The tie lock is really excellent. The Nandi is pretty damn good. And I've got an Umnumzan that's going to be reviewed here soon. And so I'm kind of curious. This is supposed to be a follow-up to your Small Sabenza. And the Small Sabenza, my chief gripe with it was that the ergonomics were just awful. And this is supposed to address a lot of those issues. So if this is a Small Sabenza I can actually like, I'm very curious about it. I'm not sure I'm, pay the full amount of money curious about it yet, but if I see one used, or if I can con some, wonderful gem of a viewer into loaning me one, hint, hint, this is something I'd love to check out, because I am very curious about it. Some of these things are coming soon. One thing I didn't have a slide for is your Prometheus Alpha. So Prometheus Writes makes this incredible pen. It's the same guy who does the top, your Prometheus. Here you go, Prometheus Lambda top. He's also done some other really cool things, the Alpha Light, but he makes this pen, which is just incredible. I got this one in an Electron, this nickel, but he makes it in titanium. And so he's pre-ordering those now, and I bought it in titanium because I'm just an asshole like that, and I really like this pen. So that's something to keep in mind, and as soon as I get it in titanium, I'll throw something up there. It's on its way whenever that ends up happening. Other things that are coming soon. Here's your Spyderco Nirvana. This is a really interesting knife because it's a $450 Spyderco. Whoa. It's designed by Peter Vicente. It's supposed to be really, really cool, and it's an integral, which means that there's not 2 chunks of titanium here. It's a single chunk that's had the gap for the knife just milled out in there, and it's running on bearings. It's supposed to be incredible. It's going to be a little big for me, I think, for everyday use. It's 3.75, which is, whew. But I'm still really curious to see what a $450 Spyderco ends up looking like. It better be great, and I'm going to see if I can't find one at a better price than that. So, yeah. Anyways, that's your Nirvana. Really curious about that bad boy. This is your Spyderco Burroughs. This was only shown off at the SHOT Show. I wasn't there, but I saw the videos, and this is pretty interesting to me. There aren't production photos of it yet, but these were renders posted by the artist, the designer himself. Seems like a nice guy. And it shows this really weird design. This looks like it's either going to be really ergonomic or absolutely dreadful, and by God, I want to find out. The other really cool thing about it is that it folds up interestingly, like this. So this part tucks into that, which is cool because the name of the knife is the Ouroboros, and the Ouroboros is the name for this symbol here, where you've got your snake eating its own tail. So it's a really cool compression lock, by the way. Compression lock I'm in love with. It's a compression lock knife that's named after an alchemical symbol. You fucking better believe that Nick is buying that. So that's good. This is your Benchmade Proxy. It's an Osborne design, and it's Benchmade's first flipper frame lock. And I'm really curious about this because they priced it at $260, which is way the hell up there. Of course, it's a Benchmade, so it's way the hell up there. But more than that, it's in high ground for flipping territory. Your ZT high-end stuff is up there. And so they better have done this really, really right. And Benchmade could if they gave a damn, and I hope they gave a damn here. So I'm not paying full retail, but once I can find one at a good price, I'm going to probably pick one of these up and take a look, because I'm curious what a Benchmade flipper that doesn't really, I mean, they got to do better than the last flipper, the 0300, which was a wreck. I'm curious what this is going to look like. This is your ZT0456, I believe. It's a Sinkovich design. It's a sheep's foot. It's titanium. It's got blue accents. What the hell more could I want, personally? And it's 3.25 inch, not too huge. So I'm really excited about this guy. I got one of these pre-ordered already, and oh man, looking forward to this. Gonna be cool, and Sinkovich makes great stuff. So I'll let you know as soon as I get this bad boy, because I'm pretty curious. Then finally, the knife I'm probably most excited about in the immediate time is the Grimsmo Rask. The Grimsmo brothers make probably my favorite knife of all time, and that's the Norseman here. And this is just, watch the review. This is a technically perfect knife, and every time I carry this knife, I like it a little bit more. So I'm really excited to see what they do, whoa there, with this guy. This is a smaller design. It's only 3.5 inch blade. It's designed by Eric, the other Grimsmo brother, John being the designer of the Norseman. And it's just, it's supposed to be incredible, and I trust them to put out incredible stuff. So I got one of these pre-ordered. It's worth noting that you can pre-order one of these too, because, you know, in your shoes, these tend to go, the Grimsmo knives go pretty scarce pretty quick. They're not a high-output shop. So you might even consider doing that if you're thinking you want to get some Grimsmo action. Not being paid by them, I just really, really like their stuff. So as soon as the Rask hits, and I've had some time to fully understand it, you'll see a review, and I'm looking forward to that. Then finally, I got some knives and gear items that I'm probably going to have to keep dreaming on. First off, this is your Razel GT. John Graham makes a series of custom knives called the GT, Gentleman's Tactical. And as you all know, I love the Razel, the full-size Razel here. This is a smaller Razel, about 3 inches in blade, and it's still a flipper, and I mean, they're really, really great. I had the opportunity to handle one of his customs. It wasn't the Razel blade shape, and I mean, it's really well done, great flippers, everything like that, but I would love to have a smaller gentleman's Razel. There's been talk of a mid-tech of this, but, you know, that's, who knows when that'll happen, if that'll happen. But I'd love to get my hands on one of these guys. I'm trying. I'm keeping my eyes peeled. But they're pretty rare. Hard to find. This is a J.D. Van Deventer flipper, front flipper. The South African knife makers have a kind of lock on the front flipper market. That's a knife where, and I don't have any, but the flipper tab is actually on the top here. And so you open it up by doing one of these motions. And I've working on a custom, potentially, with somebody, well, actually with Anthony Griffin. I'm kind of excited about this. I'll be reviewing that guy when it lands. But that's a front flipper. But I'm really curious to see what the South Africans are pulling off with the IKBS bearing system and the front flippers. And they have some really cool designs. This is the J.D. Van Deventer. This is a Corey Showman. I'm butchering the name, no doubt. But this is a really cool looking knife, and I'd love to check it out. So I'd love to see some of the South African front flippers, as well as just a front flipper in general. And then, oh man, pie in the sky wishes, John Grimsmo has occasionally shown off his integral knife. And that's a knife like the Recenti integral, where it's just milled out. And it's a small knife. So this is a 3-inch Grimsmo sheep's foot integral knife. Holy crap, do I want that. I mean, John Grimsmo, take my freaking money. This is really interesting to me. And here's the Norseman to scale, which is huge. And so this would be a small knife of Grimsmo quality. This is just a little mock-up that he did with a 3D printer. But, oh, God, do I want that. You just say the word, give me a PayPal button to click, John, and I will give you this month's paycheck. Whatever. That's just, I'm really curious about this. So as soon as that lands, and he's been hinting that it's coming closer, maybe 2016, so keep your eyes peeled. But if he wants my money, he's got it. Speaking of if you want my money, you got it. This is your Spyderco Swayback. Now, this knife is in a very weird place. The pictures have been floating around for a while. A prototype has been made. Spyderco has acknowledged that a prototype has been made. And this is a Marsan Sleesh design. He's the same guy who did your Sleesh Buoy here, which is one of my favorites of all time. But this is a swayback kind of frame lock, and oh my God. This just looks aesthetically incredible, and you know, if it's done Spyderco Taichung, I am, again, Sal Glesser, take my freaking money. Make this happen, please. Sometime back, one of the big knife companies, GP Knives, posted a bunch of, you know, upcoming models, and this was among them, but then Spyderco had to come in and squash it because, well, that's not quite ready yet. So they know that this is coming, but make this happen, Sal. Please, I beg of you. I am a simple man. I have simple desires. Make this happen. All right, begging done. Then finally, you know, I talk a lot about knives, but I'm also kind of a watch geek and a gear geek in general. And when I recently posted a review of this guy, my Casio Oceanus quartz watch, which I really, really like, one of the commenters gave the whole, oh, you should get yourself a real watch, you know, you should get a mechanical, and, you know, okay, maybe. I like quartz. I'm probably going to do a rant about why quartz is probably better for most people. But if I had to do a mechanical, it'd be this guy. This is your Shin, or Sin, I never know which, I think it's Sin, 856, and it's just a gem in a lot of ways. It's thin, it's small, it's got a really durable movement, durable case, great manufacturer, great loom, really readable, and frankly, I'm just generally a fan of Sin in most of its forms. So, you know, this is a really good idea, and it's appealing to me. The problem is it's about $2,000 to get on the bracelet like that, and that's a whole lot of money. Anytime I'm spending more than a mortgage payment on something, I gotta really sit back and think about that. So if I had to go mechanical, I'd go this way, but unfortunately, until I'm making a whole lot more money than I am, this isn't really on the radar for me. Feel free to send me a Sin 856, you know, world. Just saying, I'm not above begging here. But that's kind of the last thing in my list that I'd love to someday be able to check out, but it probably won't be in the near future. So, in summary, Spyderco, take my money. John Grimsmo, take my money. South African knife makers, take my money. John Graham, take my money. And, you know, the rest of these things are all gems of various stages, I suspect. And I'll let you know when they come through. So, I hope this has been interesting to you. Like I said, if it was, leave me a comment. And if it wasn't, leave me a comment. And, yeah, have yourselves a wonderful rest of your day.